Good evening, everyone. You are at the Germantown Economic Development Meeting, and it is Tuesday, December 9th at 6 p.m. I would like to call this meeting to order. It has been given public notice in accordance with Section 1983 and 1984 Wisconsin State Statute in such form that will apprise the general public and news media of subject matter that is intended for consideration and action. Roll call shows all commissioners present except for Jim Sedgwick, and he is excused with a work conflict. Next, I'd like to go to announcements. Does anyone on the board have announcements, Joletta, or?
I do.
Yes, go right ahead.
Yes, I just like to let because of our situation with having not allowed speaking outside of this meeting, therefore we only have 1 hour a month to do anything. I would like to tell people what I have been doing and talking with other people about to do with economic development. At the Plan Commission last night, I asked the Plan Commission to review their concerns and think about the things that they would like us to look into for them, because that's part of our mission according to the Muni Code. I asked them to convene, discuss, and make a presentation to our group, since we've had no one from Plan Commission come here yet. And I also suggested that this probably should happen after the Baird study, because we have received, or we have been in December at the GGF meeting on the 15th, which you can see on YouTube. We had a presentation from the finance director, Matthew Uselding, where he took the 5-year capital plan and he projected out costs, taxes, and the debt service in various scenarios. And if nothing were to change by 2031, our taxes would be slightly over 6%, and we would have over doubled our debt service, and it would be a little over $11 million. So the next step for that effort is for the new advisory group, Baird, to come in and review that information, which I understand is on their docket. And so I'm suggesting that, and I suggested last night to the Plan Commission, that there's a temporary stop on spending any money on development, whether it's within TIDS or just in general, unless it's already in the budget, so that we can figure out where we are, what we can afford, and what a plan for moving forward looks like, because that directly affects everything that this group is supposed to be doing and looking at, and also the Plan Commission and the rest of the village. So it's an important thing. I hope they take my requests seriously. The other thing is that I've been doing, and I don't remember if I mentioned this before, is I went around to the 4 hotels and introduced myself. Did I say that before? Okay.
No.
So yeah, I met all the owners and I provided that information to the chamber, and suggested that, told them that there was a vacancy on the tourism board for hotel people. There are some new people associated with the hotels. And some of them may be interested in holding that position. Don't know. So I'm not, that's really up to the tourism committee to follow up on that. And that's enough for now. Thanks.
Oh, sure. Thanks for that update. I do have just a couple of announcements. I like to keep you up to date of what's going on. But I would like to make mention that there have there are two people in this village that just passed away, and they're very important people, and that is Ken Miller, um, who was on the village board and county supervisor, and then also Russ Wendland passed within the last couple weeks. So, or I would think just in the last week. So keep those families in your prayers. Other announcement about meetings, upcoming meetings. I wanted you to understand that we do have Mid-Moraine meeting coming up. It's our legislative committee meeting. It's tomorrow night. It's at Jackson Municipal Building. And our guest will be Dustin Laffey, and he's with Washington County Emergency. And he's going to, and Scott Ziegler also. He's Ozaki County Emergency Management Director. And they're going to talk about the emergency preparedness, and then coordinate with local officials on how to handle what happens after, regarding cleanup, restoring utilities, FEMA relief, and the importance of the 211 system. Also, at the dinner meeting for the Mid-Moraine Municipal Association, January 28th, it will be held in the village of Slinger at the Slinger House. And they're bringing in Gregory Christensen, and also a representative from Vantage Community Engagement Team. And they're going to discuss data centers. And I thought that would be interesting since there's a proposal to put one in Port Washington, which is our neighbor, Ozaki County. So if you're interested, just contact me. I'll help you out in finding that. So any other announcements? All right, thank you. Let's move on to citizen input. You have to, oh. Oh, Lynn, you do have to press that button. No. There you go. There.
Okay. After last night, my daughter has a couple clients in Holy Hill. They do not want anybody coming there tearing up Holy Hill. They're very adamant. This isn't two people. This is a lot of people there. And aside from the people who think we should look at developers, you should be doing nothing until, and Mr. Baum disagreed, until we have a public meeting with the people that live in that area. If they want what you're doing, then you can go look at a developer and spend $90,000. I don't even think you have to spend that money. If you get a developer that wants to go here, he should be able to come here and present himself. I don't care what anybody says anymore. And not only that, there's no water there. Who's going to spend a couple $1 million putting a pipeline there to service the area for development? Us? No way. Please wake up and realize what's really going on. I had time today, which I usually do, to go on the internet. And I'm tired of hearing about this 250 plan. This plan is not a law. And I'm hoping there are people at home who realize this, because people think it is. This plan is only a guide. It's not a regulation which limits its legal teeth, period, okay? And it does not have a single, Wisconsin does not have a single mandatory statewide 250 plan that forces communities to act. Instead, what they do is they are advisory plans to guide that if we adopt them voluntarily, not regulated and forced to follow them, okay? There are some conditions, but they're not very serious. We haven't been following those. And the only laws that Governor Evers signed were for energy and climate control. Those are the only two. And I was wondering, in this climate control, I'll get to that, but it's very interesting. Who's responsible? Local governments and villages and towns are responsible for creating and adopting their own plans, not state plans, our plans from the village of the people who live here. And they intend, and they're for creating and adopting plans if, the word if, they intend to have a zoning or subdivision regulation, okay, for any development at all. The plans are developed through, and here is the big kicker, this is in there. The plans are developed through local public participating process, okay? We haven't had one for 5 years or more. Nothing should even be set forth to any boards until we have public participation. This is part of their plan that they agreed to, that if we do that, okay, which we haven't done. We have these little meetings with people called public hearing. That's not what they mean. And then it goes on, and I just highlighted some of the more important things. The state goal set by the governor was mainly for clean energy, okay? And is this forced? These goals are only a roadmap and rely on voluntary action and incentives. And I read this and I said, you know, I wonder if our attorney has read this. Does this mean that we can use this here to stop solar farms and nobody's looked at this? That's what this is for. It's a voluntary, it's a roadmap and relies on voluntary action and incentives that are not a mandate that forces individual communities to adapt special local ordinances. They can choose to adopt their own similar local goals, but they are not required to do so by the state. So I'm just thinking, I thought, I wonder if this should be looked at as some way to stop a solar farm if we have the right to stop this. And somebody should look into this. I'm not a lawyer, but if we have one at all, maybe he could look into it. In summary, the state does not force communities to follow a specific state mandated 250 land use plan. All it requires is that if you're engaged in land use regulation, you can create your own comprehensive plans which serve as guides for the future, okay? And in other words, the plan must be consistent with a local plan that we have. That's the only regulation that there is. It's not a law. And the sewer pack plans are advisory also. They're not mandatory. And they're not forced to follow a state dedicated plan, but developed our own if we want to regulate land use. So all this development that you guys are going to be responsible for should follow what is recommended, not regulated. And I think this is very important. I did a lot of research on this, and I think that they should look into this severely. We should start taking this seriously and stop all development until we get our heads together and know what we're doing and stop that holy hill, because the people there don't want it, okay? And before we go spend $90,000 to a developer for a plan that the people don't even want done, that's absolutely ridiculous. Thank you.
David Baum, trustee for District 1. Interesting comments. Most of them I don't believe are correct at all. The water and sewer are already paid for. It's already negotiated. We know who's paying for it. That's our neighboring community. Village of Germantown is only paying for its right of way, their portion of it. So that's a done deal. The real reason that I was up here is for the agenda item as to the vacant buildings in the community. You're going to get a list. You're trying to put this together. Last time it was sent back for more information. Question that I've heard asked by one of the members is, once we get the list, what is this committee supposed to do with the list? We're not brokers, we're not agents of any kind. What is this committee supposed to do with that list? Are you guys supposed to work on filling those vacant spaces? That has been asked 3 times. I've never heard the answer, and I've actually asked the village president, what's the purpose of it? So if you could answer that when you have your discussion, I'd like to know. Thank you.
Thank you for coming forward. Do you need a yellow slip? Okay, we got you down. Anyone else for citizen comment? All right, we're going to move on. I will entertain a motion for approving meeting minutes from December 9th.
I move to approve meeting minutes from December 9th.
Second.
Discussion? Any? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. All right, going on to unfinished business. We are going to be talking about tonight the Germantown marketing campaign, as we're calling it. The Economic Development Commissioners had homework last month, and we have all submitted some marketing ideas utilizing video and or other means. So with that, I'd like to start the discussion with your comments. Would anyone like to go first?
I'll go.
Okay,
So it's kind of up in the air yet. The last meeting was my first Economic Development Commission meeting, so I kind of was picking up a lot of it. And I was thinking, being a school board director, kind of what we're doing to market. And a couple of the questions that I was a little bit shocked by were, how much does it cost? It's a pretty easy answer. You know, it should be an easy answer. We didn't have that. I would recommend that Justin Marion maybe comes in and gives us a presentation. He's our marketing communicator for the Germantown School District. He's doing a great job of making videos and posting information out there. We're getting a ton of views. That would be a recommendation from me. I think it would be a wise thing to utilize.
and what is Justin's title?
I believe his title is Marketing and Communication Coordinator.
Okay. And I do know him from Leadership Germantown.
Mhm.
And I'm the mentor for their Leadership Germantown project.
He's brought a lot of good things.
Yeah, he's and they're doing the bigs, big sister, big brother, big sister.
Question.
Yes,
So how are these videos being used?
good question. Mike. It's your question. Jeff. can you-
Oh, thank
know?
you. So if you're scrolling through Facebook, you'll see a bunch of things posted to the district website. And they do everything from superintendent meetings to principal meetings to interviews with teachers and students. It's basically drawing everybody in saying, these are all the great things that are happening in the school district. So we're using it as a tool for not only marketing, but bringing people in going, what does Germantown have to offer in a positive light?
Are there any like school activities or plays, or is he using it that way at all?
We're meeting to have a conversation.
Okay.
From what I know, it was just kind of a jump off campaign. A
Okay,
lot to do with the superintendent, administration, students, things like that. I know that he has a plan. I would just want to sit down with him and not speak for him.
okay. You want to follow up on that?
I do.
Okay,
So I have a call scheduled with him tomorrow,
okay,
so I can
great.
shoot you an email.
Yeah, that'd be great. I think we could, use some examples and help out. Was there any other thought that you had about the marketing campaign using videos or anything?
I like it. I know that I kind of brought together the tiered system where I was talking about possible, if you're a, what did I say, a bronze level at 500 or a silver level at 1,000 or a gold level at 3,000, I think there's maybe something there because time isn't free. But it didn't seem very streamlined last time. So that would be all that I would add to it.
And when you're on these levels, are you paying for participation?
I think it's a smart idea.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at, I mean, we'll just use Relish as example. They do a great job of marketing, right? So I'm sure Stillery and Relish has a marketing team. Maybe another small business would be interested in doing such.
So Justin from the school district, Murin, and also tiered system, right? Okay. Kristen? Oh,
Yep.
oh,
Go ahead.
go ahead.
Oh, I was going to move on to like my thoughts. So if you had a question.
You want to add
go
on?
ahead.
No, go ahead,
Jeff's.
and I'll add my
Okay.
thoughts after yours.
Okay.
Okay. So how I was kind of thinking of this is first, I think we need a better target market. I don't know who we're marketing to, whether that's people that are already in Germantown and letting them know what's going on and what else they can do, people that are trying to come into Germantown, bringing tourism in. Is it businesses and trying to bring businesses to Germantown? So I think there's 3 different routes that we could go. And we need to pick one, otherwise it's going to be confusing to the audience in terms of who we're marketing to. So I think before we move forward in just creating videos, I think we need to figure out who we're marketing to, and then that will help us determine the name of the campaign. I know I wrote down several ideas, but depending who we're going to end up marketing to, that name may fit or it may not. And then once we have that, then I think we should do a small pilot to see if one video can generate, one new customer to whatever the video is. So if it's a salon, one new customer to the salon, and if we can drive that back and know that it was because of the video, then we can see if it was a successful pilot or not, and then grow from there. So I think having statistics along the way too, to make sure that the videos are effective is important. So I also like Jeff's idea though of having a different perspective and bringing somebody else in. I think that would be good.
Yeah. And anything else? That's great. So actually determining the target market.
Yes, I think we need to do that first. So otherwise
And there
these
may be
videos might not.
Multiple.
There
And then
could be.
could be, and then do a small pilot test, which makes real sense. I
Yes,
agree with that.
and I have more details written, but
Yep.
that summarizes
In your
it.
notes. Okay, thanks. Melanie?
Yep. Yeah, I looked at everybody's comments and it looked like there were 3 approaches in the comments. 2 people looked at coming together with a program and sort of filled in the blanks about potentially how something could use. One person said, well, the businesses are doing fine on their own. How much do we really need to do?
Mhm.
And then another person said, there are other things that this group should be doing, is what I read into it. Now that could be misinterpretation on my part, but that's why we're discussing this. But in general, I don't know if this is the right time to be delving into this. I agree with Kristen, we do need a strategy, a plan, and we need a lot of details worked out. I don't know that now is the right time for Justin to come in and give another presentation. We've got other things that are more important for this village, in my view, based on the mission for this group. It's important to bring people in, but we're not quite ready for that, I don't think. We've got background cleanup that we have to do before aisle 6 is really messy. So,
And 7.
yeah. So I don't know that this is the right time to be delving into this. It may be fine to sort of work through a plan in the background, but and have that be something that we resurface in a couple of months.
Mhm.
But it just seems like it's off the timing of
Right.
working on this based on everything else that needs to happen. Those are my comments.
Thank you. Gilletta?
Yeah, so I would agree with what has been said. I think we need a scope before we waste Justin's time or anyone else's time. We need to figure that out. So I have the benefit of 20 years. My counterpart at the chamber, Lynn, has been a part of this commission, and it's been 20 years of spinning tires, wheels, talking in circles. So I have some frustration built in a little bit because I have that history. But you asked for our homework to be done. We did it. And then you or somebody went to Tourism Commission to ask for money for this project. So what is the point of our committee if we can't talk about that and okay that? And you have the power to go ask for 10,000 with no scope, no anything. That just makes us kind of useless. What else are you doing or someone else is doing on their own? I think some of these things we're talking about is not in the purview of economic development. It is not. It is tourism, or if it's, a fun thing someone wants to do, great. But I'm here for economic development.
No, we're gonna,
Present an idea where to people from. and
we'll just hold off and I want everyone on the committee to be able to speak. I think we can take it later or offline. Scott, did you have a comment?
The only thing I'll say is I've served on this commission. I think Gillette and I have been on it the longest of anyone in the room, 3 years, right, Gillette? And I volunteered to be on it to drive economic development. I mean, that's what it's called, right or wrong, okay? And we had some ideas. We did things with EDWC. We had the pillars put out there. We had facilitation by EDWC to get some structure to what it is we're trying to do. And I have to agree with Joletta that this feels to me more like marketing than economic development. It feels like economic development is not this. I don't agree. We're not the city of West Bend or West Allis or Milwaukee that's got a full staff of people that run around trying to get businesses to come there and offer them wonderful things. We're a small village. We don't have that. But there's things we can do to drive true economic development. And finding ways, I understand that we operate as an advisory committee to the Plan Commission, right? Which is probably why Melanie asked them to give us something to do, all right? And how do I know that that process works? Because I'm on Utility Advisory Commission, and Trustee Warren is the chairman of that commission. And that commission has proved to be effective from providing input to the Public Works Commission to do with it whatever they want as a standing committee. So I would like to see that kind of a process involving economic development. It doesn't mean we have all the answers, but there should be some guidelines that can come from Plan Commission to tell us in a focused way what things they would like us to work on. But this, I mean, I got some marketing in my background. This looks to me more like marketing than economic development. Maybe the two are synonymous, but I am not sure that that is our, that the mission is, economic development is my mission, not marketing. So that's just my comments. Thank you.
Go ahead, Joletta.
Just to clarify, I'm not saying like these ideas aren't great.
Right.
I just think it's tourism or some other entity we can use that takes care of it.
Right, go ahead, Kristen.
I do agree that I feel like tourism could be a good spot for this. I think that it is a good marketing campaign, but perhaps it's not in the right area. And at this time too, I do worry about the $10,000. I know we're trying to be cautious with what we spend. I don't know if saying we're going to spend $10,000 on some videos that may or may not work, if it's the right time for that. I think if we can perhaps give this to tourism and they're really confident in their plan, and it being successful, then maybe we can talk about it. But getting those funds before we have any of these details figured out, doesn't seem like the best way to even like earmark that money.
Right.
And just for the record, a little background on tourism, that is hotel tax money, so it's not coming out of the village budget.
Right.
So, and promoting tours, that's exactly what the money is for. So that's great. It's just, I don't know if it should be on our plate.
Yes, Melanie.
I make a motion that we take items A and B and we put together a presentation and ask to be on the Tourism Commission's agenda at some point and discuss about what we've done so far and if it's something that they're interested in taking over.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Discussion.
Discussion.
Discussion, sorry. Yes. I'll make a comment. I think that's a great idea because I think we want to be in line. It is a marketing program. I'm looking at the powers and duties of Economic Development Commission, and it's formulate, manage, and administer the village's economic development program, carrying out short-range and long-range elements of the program, recommend an annual budget for its activities and programs, and as called upon, serve as an advisory role to the Plan Commission and Village Board on matters relevant to economic development. And then engage in policy deliberations relative to economic development activities such as business park development and marketing, and making recommendations to the village board and also the plan commission when requested or where appropriate. Such other duties as may be assigned elsewhere in this code or by the plan commission and village board. So it clearly states we're an advisory to assist Plan Commission, Village Board. And I think that we should take these ideas, I agree with you, and present them to the tourism. We need, I bet if you look back, don't quote me on this, but the other municipalities that have these videos and websites and things like that, they actually have a person dedicated to it. They have a marketing coordinator. They do this all the time. They get it out on web pages. Maybe they charge, but I don't want to say we're going to come up with something and we don't have the bandwidth with this.
I called a question.
Okay. Tourism. Let's put together a presentation and send it to tourism. That is the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That passes. I'd like to make another motion. Melanie brought up a great point. What? On A and B. Yeah, I'd like to make,
No, I'm just asking, can you make a motion? I don't know.
can I make
Can the
a,
chair make a motion?
What's the motion?
just do a presentation for a plan?
That was in the motion.
Well, you.
We just did that.
So we just did that.
To do the tourism.
To present to tourism. We'd
Correct.
also like to present the marketing campaign to Plan Commission.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a new motion.
Your other ideas or what you said in the announcements.
It's not on the agenda. That's not the agenda.
That's not the part of
Okay.
this agenda item.
Okay,
That's an agenda discussion.
right. Okay, never mind. So that passes. And we'll get on there next. Who would like to draw that up? Oh, we have it all drawn up. It would be a presenter. Any volunteers? You're on the board. You can't do it. I can do it, or Melanie, you can do it. Or anyone else. They won't meet for a couple months, I don't think.
Can you get a date first?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. If we have a
Okay,
date,
let's
maybe.
get the date. Can you
I'm
find that?
really
Chris,
busy
Maddie?
right now.
Okay.
I think
not-
typically they've been meeting every other month unless something comes up.
It'll be March.
March.
Okay. All right.
Okay, I can
Oh, we'll
help
figure
you
that
with
out.
that.
Thank you very much. And that is for A and B. So we're not going to discuss any of the ideas for renaming formerly Celebrate Germantown. Okay, so we have completed A and B. We're moving to item C, Operation Storefront. We asked for updates on that. Comment?
Yeah, we didn't receive any new information.
we did
so
not.
We can't really discuss this one. I mean, there's nothing really to add. So
No.
I suggest we re-ask for the information and in order to be able to discuss it next time, please.
Absolutely. Yes, Scott.
So I have a question. We requested this information, correct? Did we request this information last month?
Yes,
Did the
Mr. Kreklo was gone most.
Okay, so he
for
didn't
the
have time
holiday.
to
I don't
do
think
it?
So, no.
And what did we ask for again? Because if there's anything we can add, perhaps new.
Well, we specifically wanted square footage on the list of the empty warehouses. We have percentage, but we're looking for square footage and lots for sale. So just plain lots for sale
Mhm.
in the village of Germantown, as well as, well, we have the list of the empty box stores on County Line and Mequon and in one of the other strip malls. Yes, Scott.
Was attached to that information, was there anything that tells us what kind of tax revenues we're collecting on said properties? Because in my knowledge, there's a bunch of long-term leases that I keep being told, well, we can't do anything, it's a long-term lease, and the owner of the building is paying taxes. Well, how much are they paying? I have never had that answered in years. Okay, I'm just curious that if you can't do anything, you can't do anything, but it doesn't hurt to ask, because right now, yes, we're collecting taxes, but there's no economic activity originating out of those businesses unless the guy's doing his Halloween scary costume store. But there's no economic activity other than the payment of taxes. You know, that's what we're looking for, is an overflow, finding a way to fill those buildings up. Those people need to buy lunch and gas and go grocery shopping and go to Culver. I don't know what they're going to do, but empty buildings. I have some clients that are very high-end real estate investors, and they know a lot about, one's a structural engineer and spent a lot of time in that. Buildings tend to degrade when there's nothing in them sitting empty, even if they're climate controlled or whatever. So I'd be curious to know what kind of revenue we're getting from that. And maybe that spurs a discussion, hey, what can we do? And by the way, whose job is it to inquire and inquire about and fill and try to come up with answers? Is it community development? Is it, I don't think it's the village board president's job to go out and tell everybody they should build here, but I mean, it should be somebody's task to go out and try to fill these buildings. Some of them have been empty for 15 years.
Right.
Whose actual responsibility in this village is that?
That's
And-
a great question to add to that meeting.
Yes.
Yes, I think that figuring out once we have all this information, which I think is great to have, what are we doing with it? Or are we passing it along to Plan Commission to do something with it? I don't know. So I think what do we do with this information would be
Yeah.
helpful.
Gilletta?
I mean, what would prevent us just having like a website on the village with this information?
Absolutely.
Nothing.
I mean, I actually shared this thing with 2 business owners in the last couple weeks that were interested.
You're,
Just having it as public information, it's easy to access if they're pulling it together from us.
yep.
I think it's great information to have out there.
The chamber is a great resource
Well, and that and on the village, you know,
and the village as well.
it's their, you know, they're collecting the information, so it can go on the village website. I'd be happy to promote it as a chamber. Yeah, I think it's, I
It's
mean,
relevant and that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
We're trying to encourage people to come in and do business.
Well,
yeah,
we
and I,
need to-
oh, sorry,
Sorry. You- Are
sorry.
you finished? Go ahead.
Sorry, one more thing.
What's your thought?
I think the visibility of that being out there also, depending on how we use it, can put pressure on those owners to find people, you know, like, oh, you know, maybe they don't care, but the visibility of, it's been said for many years, like, when are we going to fill that? Well, here's the people that are leaving these empty. We're going to flash it out to everybody.
Melanie, did you want to make a point?
Yeah, one of my lives before was doing exactly this and finding information out about properties, whether it was occupied, not built, and figuring out ways of making it be a more productive type of facility within whatever municipality that was. And there are many different strategies. It just depends on gathering the information. You have to do the homework first. You need the information and you need to identify what the terms are, what the conditions are of various encumbrances, mortgages, leases, whatever, attitudes of the owners and their personal circumstances. We got a taste of that with the project over at Pilgrim and Mequon. There's a couple of properties that aren't going to move at all.
That's right.
So we have to be prepared for that. But until there's been due diligence and homework done and a little packet of information that's much more thorough than what has been put together so far, nothing against what the village president did, but we need more information before we can come up with a plan for each of the areas or each of the properties. So there is a process, there's many steps, and people need to be patient.
Right.
But we need the information. And so part of what we're doing is figuring out what that process is for this village because it's never been done before.
That's right.
And so it would have been done if we would have had if we had a process, it would have been done in the past, but it has not been. So we're going to create something. And we should be doing it in tandem with the Plan Commission and the Planning Department. But their focus, as far as I can tell, has been mostly on new construction. And so there may be some learning curves there for some people in that realm. I don't know. I mean, we'll have to find this out. But there are processes. It's well known how to go about doing this. I have a lot of tools and information. We can figure out something. So it's just going to take a little while. That's all.
Agreed. Is there anything else on our list for doing the due diligence? Whose job is it? Whose responsibility? Re-ask for all these details and the tax revenues?
I think this is a conversation with Steve initially, because he will have to work in the staff
Mhm.
to figure out who are the appropriate parties that will assist with this.
Mhm.
It could be some of the asset manager delving into some information. It could be working with realtors. It could be someone in planning. They may not have enough time. They may think they may not have enough time, but if responsibilities are shifted, that all has to be discussed because you can only do so much. Everyone has only got so much time.
Right.
And that's, it could be a structural change within the way people do their job, and they may have a change in job description. Don't know. It may be something that has to be outsourced. It may be something that we do part-time, and we assign ourselves a conversation with somebody.
Sure.
So we don't, at this point, we don't know.
Right,
And we have to be open-minded.
right. We are open-minded. So, President Soderberg, was there something you wanted to say? We have a challenge. Uh-huh.
Good evening,
Good
Commissioners.
evening.
A little bit more clarity on the known inventory of empty spaces in the village. First and foremost, it shouldn't be up to the village president to compile that list. I put the list together because we've only been talking about it. I've been here for 20 years. We've been talking about this on county line for a long time. So someone had to take up the challenge and do it. I put that together.
Thank you.
It's also apparent that this committee, this commission needs staff support. There's no one here from staff
Mhm.
outside of our clerk's office.
Mhm.
We need staff support to take the ideas and thoughts from this commission to move forward with it. And I agree with you, Melanie, 100%. I personally have had calls with all the commercial agents of all those properties, except for one. There's no appetite for traditional retail to go in that space. So we have to think outside the box. When I say we, I don't know. We will find that answer. I'll work with our village administrator to move this forward because everybody wants to backfill those stores. They do. Germantown Plaza 2 is owned by, and there's no open leases, by the way. There was, anybody could go in there, but no one wants to go in there today. And there's opportunities that for folks to come in, but they just couldn't cut the deal. On Germantown Plaza 2, that's the center plaza. It's owned by a person out of Las Vegas, Tony Palermo. I have a call into him. There's discussions right now that there's people that want to go in there from the commercial agent. And he's saying, no, he doesn't want anything. Why? I don't know. But my goal is to introduce myself as a new village president and say, we want you to be successful. What could we do to support you? Should that be the village president? I think it could be. Could it be someone from staff as well? Of course it could be. But I think this is just the tipping point. There's more to be done on this. I'm excited where this is going to go because everybody wants to backfill those stores. So hopefully I provided more clarity. I know we have to get staff support for this group, which we will. So thank you.
Thank you for all of your work on that presentation on the empty warehouses. That was great. We just need more detail. So we're going forward. Next item. We have the list. Do we have to vote on this? There's no money. Okay. The next item is item D, the Germantown Business Loan Pool monthly report. I'm just reporting to you that I did meet with Bank 59, the branch manager, Sherry Shatterberg. All their branches throughout the community, throughout Wisconsin, have the same program, and they do a tremendous amount of loans throughout Washington and Ozaki County. One of the municipalities did 450,000 in a year. So that is available to us. So what we came up with, some of the feedback we got from our seminar was the application is too it's too obtrusive. It's gets into too much detail for the village. We don't want to give the village that much information. And we will be meeting with her boss to create an updated application. It'll be two-step. One step will come here to the village and the next step will come for, that will go to the bank. So, and the other thing that we need to do is, we talked about having 2 or 3 seminars for this year. Gilletta, do you have a feel for what you, should I, in the meeting, I think it's going to be early February, February 2nd, probably. Do you have dates in mind? Like, do you want to do one in spring?
I mean, I have no dates in mind, but I'm totally game for whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just really just having the space
facility,
available.
yeah,
And I
right.
mean, if it's gonna be a small crowd, we could even probably host them at the chamber. But it's kind of nice to spread out. Yeah, you never know. Yeah, I'm fine with
Okay.
whatever.
I'll ask them for some dates, and then, I'd like to set a goal. So if you want to think about it.
Okay, so I think it should be 2, and they should be recurring dates, or at least the month should be recurring.
Great
in a
idea.
year. And I don't think it's appropriate to set a goal personally. I mean, if we get the word out and lots of people come in, it's kind of none of our business if the bank works something out with people or not. So I'm opposed to a goal. Our goal is that we actually do the seminars and we get people that attend, and that's good enough.
I would,
Yeah.
I think this is not a sales job. We're not selling loans from the village. That's my personal opinion, and I feel really strongly about that.
Okay.
So,
Understood.
and I
Violetta?
would agree with Melanie on that. I think our job is just to make sure, like for me, I want every chamber member to know that this is a possibility for them. So just the marketing aspect of it all. And I mean, a lot of it is word of mouth, which is, great. So yeah, I would be fine with.
Okay.
Yeah, I think tracking just who's at these seminars, making sure that people keep coming, that should be a good statistic. That should let us know that what we're saying, what we're doing is working. And that's, I think, what we would feel comfortable tracking. But more of a dollar amount would be on the bank.
Yeah, go.
Okay.
You, me.
Anything else? Oh, yeah, Gilletta.
Remind me, on the application, is there a place where they can say how they found out about it?
Ooh.
Okay,
Um,
I guess my request that would be a great thing
Okay.
to find out.
Excellent idea. Anything else on the loan?
I have one thing.
Yes, sorry.
So I took some live fire on the loan from someone who initially applied but pulled out. So potentially that came back to some confusion about how much the village looks into what's going on. My knowledge was they're just supposed to verify that they're a business that's operating in Germantown, then it goes to the bank. What I was told is there was questions that came from the village that were more than just verify that you're a business in town. There was a lot of information that was asked for by the village, so I don't know if the process or has been reviewed that way. The bank is going to do what the bank does.
Right.
They
right.
felt that the bank asking them for 3 years of tax returns and all this stuff for a $25,000 loan was a little bit over the top. But that's on the bank side. That has nothing to do with us. So the fact there was confusion put in my direction made me feel bad because I don't think that's the goal of any of this. So I think just clarifying that all the village, what is the village going to do? All they need to do is verify that they're operating a business in Germantown. That's just my opinion. You don't need to do anything else. You pass it on to the bank and let the bank decide if they're a good enough risk to loan to or not. Now, I know the other fork pretty much sailed through with no problem, right? This person wanted the loan, thought it was a good price, and then pulled out of it because they thought they were asking too much information. So that's probably their perception, right? But I just want to make sure that whatever we're putting out there is such that the bank gets to rake them over the coals because that's what lenders do. And that we're not facilitating, an investigation
Right.
into what's going on. So that's just my feedback that I got from a live fire incident.
Okay. So we need to talk about that, Scott, so that I can give some feedback to the village. Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
I thought the questions came from, you said they came from the village.
Why don't you talk offline?
We'll talk
Yeah.
offline
Talk about it.
specifically,
Yep.
case.
I think something that we could do is if there is a page of questions that is specific to the village, is looking at that, revising that, making it better, adding what you said, Joletta, like, where did you find out about it?
Right,
Some of those questions, and then making a very clear distinction that this is it from the village's perspective. This is all we see. The rest is between you and the bank.
right. It's a part, we want to get to a part 1 and part 2.
Yeah. And then perhaps ask the bank to revise their
Right,
portion
that's-
of it.
That's what the next meeting in February will be, early February. So I think I got all the information. I'll get your case. All right. Anything else on that? Thanks very much for the feedback. And then finally, just some beautification. We don't have a budget. We have ideas, so we'll keep the ideas and take it up in a couple months because unless there's something pressing or someone that's dying to dig up one of the boulevards and put in flowers, that would be great. Okay. So we're gonna hold off till March or April on that. Any discussion? Okay,
April.
April?
Yeah.
You got it. April when the flowers bloom. All right, under new business, this was a report from the EDWC on Flamingo Marine. They did not send in their presentation and I told them they need to be here and have the presentation all in one package. So this will be postponed till February if they can make that meeting. Any questions?
Won't it be sort of a moot point by then? Since it's going ahead to the village board?
Well, I think I've been asking for the EDWC to come because we have the whole presentation from the pillars. Not everybody probably was on the board when that presentation came through. But I thought it was collaborative and that we were going to be getting some time allotment from them. So I'll clarify that and see if it makes sense. How's that?
Well, I think going forward, we should have the opportunity to review these kinds of things before anything goes to either plan commission or village board. And so I am disappointed that they weren't given a waiver this one time and just said, come on, because lack of communication or clarity in what was expected, and the holidays probably got in there as well. We could have asked them questions tonight, and I'm disappointed that we didn't have that opportunity.
Okay. So actually, they should be coming forward before they go to any other board. Is that what you're saying? For a review?
Well, if you follow what should be followed in the Muni Code, which this village does not always do, then yes.
Right.
And you're right, their package should have been there, but this is kind of a new commission. We're reinventing ourselves from the work that was done last year. So it's a new iteration. It's like 3.0 in the last 18 months, which these two can attest to.
Version 6.0.
So,
I was on a board too, way back.
but there needs to be a discussion about the process. And this is why it's important that we have a serious, this is why I went to the plan commission last night and said, you need to come and visit us.
Right.
So,
Got it. Mr. Heffley.
I'll double down on that. Flamingo Marine, to my knowledge, is currently residing in the industrial park in one of the buildings and asked for a sign and got approved last night. So they are an operating business entity as we sit here today that none of us had any knowledge of until we heard about it on these minutes, okay? Where the Economic Development Commission, there's economic development happening, we don't know anything about it. I don't know how much the trustees know about it, but I think the trustees should know about it, and I think we should know about it. So anyways, so that's happening. The EDWC was involved, which in my world, because I've been on the commission for 3 years, means that we used up subscriber hours to do some sort of work that they put a package together and offered something probably of value to get the company to move here from Grafton for expansion. What that is, what was written, what the agreement was, no one on this commission knows. Looking at you two trustees, it doesn't look like you know. So I don't know who knows. And the interesting thing is, we're doing things like we used to do that we need to move away from, which is we're going to have a GGF meeting right before the village board meeting. And there's about a 99% chance it'll be on there. And they'll do a presentation an hour before a village board meeting. And whatever was negotiated will be thrown at the village board and say, hey, deal with this. And what do you say to a business that's sitting in an industrial park that you said, come here, it's wonderful, and potentially made promises you can't keep but have to keep? This is how we used to do things in this village for a number of years. And so I don't know, I find it interesting that this is 11th hour again.
Yep.
This is like 5-alarm fire, like we got to call for more firefighters. And this is the kind of thing that drives me crazy, because if they're expanding, going into a bigger building and moving from another municipality, I have a heavy background in economics. To me, that is economic development, and I would debate that with anybody. Another business moving in here, saying we're going to bring jobs in, we're going to hire people, we're expanding, we need more space, and we don't know anything about it. It's news to me. So I'm just hoping that we can revise this process a little better than what it's been to this point.
I
That's
think
my
we need
comments.
to write up a process and I will just tell you, we were offered to see the story, but no financials behind it.
well, that would have been fine. It's better than nothing at this stage,
Oh.
in my opinion,
Mm.
because we are trying to repair a broken system. And it gives us the opportunity to ask more questions. So, we've been slowly repairing things in other parts of the way in which the village works. And it's been coming along, but this is probably the last part that hasn't actually got better, this and tourism.
Well, if they're already in there and they said they couldn't email a presentation, within a few hours, I think that's pretty.
Well, I think that's the focus on the wrong thing. I think we need to look at the
Perhaps.
process and we need to talk to the people. And I will, on this occasion, just say that, okay, the holidays got in the way, but no, this needs to be clarified, and we need to have a process going forward, and it needs to follow the Muni Code. And
Right.
it needs to follow we need to be given tasks. We need to be reciprocal in our conversations and feedback with the people we're supposed to interact with. We have experienced board members here from other boards who their boards aren't dysfunctional, or maybe not quite as dysfunctional. I don't know.
They're all levels.
Not dysfunctional.
Uh, all right, Scott.
This is my final comment of how I think this should have went down, if that's that's not a good word. Okay. Ideally, how this should work, in my opinion, is that the plan commission uses us as an advisory commission, like utility advisory is used for public works, okay? Hey, guys, there's somebody coming in, whether the community development manager tells us about it, the planning manager, the village administrator, whoever. Hey, we're working with somebody, they want to come into Germantown, they're looking to expand, it's excitement, we need development, we need economic activity, not just development. We need economic activity. So you bring in there, we give them, we vet it here and we give them our opinion on it, whatever that is. Then it goes to where? We're advisory to whom? Plan Commission. Then it goes to Plan Commission and they hash out what they want to see in it because that's another level, because it's not a bad thing, right? If money is involved to any degree with anything, any money involved, if we have to give them money to come here or whatever it takes, that has to go through GGF. That is an opinion that will never change with me. If a cent is spent in this village, it has to go through GGF. And at the very end of the rainbow is the village board who decides you're all crazy or you're not. And we're going to move ahead with this. But you have these steps along the way, kind of check-ins. These guys said no, these guys said yes, these guys said maybe. And in the end, the village board makes the decision for all of us and we live with it, right? That's how it works, ideally. And if we can get close to that process, I think that would go a long ways to helping people understand.
Just
Ellen, go ahead.
knowing how businesses actually work, it may be concurrent efforts between and collaboration. So in order to move things along and not the process slow things down, because a lot of times people moving their businesses, they need help streamlining the process. They don't need to wait another 6 months while someone gets a quorum together or something. So
But I
we
think,
just need,
yeah,
we need better collaboration with the Plan Commission. That's the bottom line.
Right.
but I think they're like the Plan Commission is kind of like set when they meet. So I think we could show some flexibility in our committee and move around the dates for us to kind of coincide with what you're trying to do to get 2 or 3 things done in a month, right? Something like that. We could talk to them and then they have a Plan Commission meeting a couple days later and then it goes to GGF and then it goes to the village board and that happens in 2 weeks. Could happen. We could do it that way.
So do you want to see on the EDC from starting with the Plan Commission or starting with the EDC? I just wanted to clarify that. Go ahead.
There's 2 separate things.
Oh.
There's the recapping for the new people, what the EDWC previously did, right? Because that's the first thing that we asked for.
Right.
That's one thing. And then there's a whole deal with the Flamingo business. So separate those things and let's figure out where Flamingo is in the process. And then you can schedule the recap of EDWC whenever anyone's schedule works. We may have missed the boat, no pun intended, on the Flamingo pontoon business. So
I
sorry.
understand. Yeah, great joke. My understanding is they're already moved in or they're moving it.
If you want a very expensive, very nice pontoon boat, they're the ones.
We don't know what the financials are. Those haven't been brought forward yet, and that is something that we should know. And at this point, my personal opinion is that the village should not be throwing money at businesses, especially when no one knows anything about it.
Right, right. I agree. But they weren't willing to bring those along. So, all right. Perhaps for, does it make sense? It's a question to delve into the Muni Code and find where this process is is it in the Plan Commission? Is it being held in community development for new businesses coming in?
This is a new agenda item.
Okay, that's what I mean.
So we can't talk about it right now.
No, but homework, what would it look like? No?
No, we need to talk about this after the meeting. Right?
Okay,
With Steve.
okay. Offline. All right. That is the conclusion of our new business. And the next meeting date, unless there's any other comments, is February 10th, Tuesday. Is that going to work for you guys? 6 o'clock? Work? Okay, I'm getting nods. Okay, so be it. And I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Second,
All in favor?
I.
So done. Thank you for coming.